Welcome back to my kitchen, everyone. Today we are making crispy fish tacos. You're going to need a medium skillet with light oil. Heat it. You're going to need a place to batter the fish, and you're going to need a place to cut and prepare the toppings for the tacos. You'll also need tortillas. These are flour. You can use any kind you choose. Cilantro, lime, a small carrot, sour cream, blackening seasoning, cornstarch, baking powder, radishes, flour, and tilapia. So these are all of our ingredients, and you want to start by washing and drying all of your produce. All of the produce has now been washed and dried. You want to tear the cilantro leaves from the stems and discard those stems. You want to half the lime and then cut it into wedges. So basically cut it into quarters. You want to peel the carrot and then use your vegetable peeler to shave the carrot lengthwise so that you get carrot ribbons, and then discard the core of the carrot. So once it gets too thin for you to shave, you want to toss that. And then in a medium bowl, you're going to mix the carrot, the radishes, a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, and juice from half of the lime, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of pepper. You want to do that first so that it can set aside and actually absorb the flavors of the seasoning as well as the sugar and the lime juice. That's what the radishes and the carrot looks like. There's a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, a little bit of pepper, a teeny little bit of salt, and then I am going to squeeze the juice from half of the lime. If you have a difficult time getting juice out of your lime, just rub it, roll it around on your countertop a little bit to break up the pulp before you cut it. It will give the juices a little bit of time to kind of form from the pulp, and it will give you a much better squeeze when you're ready to do so. Alright, I'm going to just drop that in the trash bag, and now we'll give that a good mix. If you are preparing tacos for more than 2 people, I would definitely suggest that you multiply the topping, because this really is just not a lot, you know, for a family, but great for one person and for some leftovers, or for an initial meal with 2 people with no leftovers. So I'm just gonna sit that aside and allow it to pickle in its juices. Then we're gonna move on in another bowl, and we're gonna mix I'm just gonna use a little shallow one that I can mix in a 1/4 cup of flour, cornstarch, baking powder, and then 6 tablespoons of water so that we can mix the batter for our fish. Go ahead and wash your fish and towel dry that as well, and cut it into small, even bite-sized pieces. You want to add salt, pepper, and some blackening spice, seasoned to taste. The tilapia has been washed and towel dried, and I'm just going to use the natural cut in the tilapia to cut each piece in half, and then I'm going to go back and cut each half into smaller bite-sized pieces. So here the tilapia is cut in half, and then I'm just cutting them again into bite-sized chunks. The recipe calls for salt, pepper, and the blackening seasoning that came with the HelloFresh kit. But since I've already added a little bit of salt to the topping, to the radishes and carrots and stuff to go on top, I'm going to omit the salt on the fish and just use the blackening and pepper. I'm going to evenly distribute that over the top, and I'm going to add some pepper and then toss to evenly coat. And here is the fish after a good toss. Now in another bowl, I'm going to make up my batter. Again, with a 1/4 cup of flour, cornstarch, baking powder, salt, pepper, and water. Okay, to a deep bowl, I'm adding a 1/4 cup of flour. I am going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and I am going to add 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and add some pepper to season. And then you want to add 6 tablespoons of water to mix up the batter for the fish. You do want the batter to be a little runny, but it should still have a slight thick consistency, sort of like paint. So that's what you're shooting for as you add the water and mix or whisk. Alright, so I've got the water added, and I'm going to mix it for a little bit here with the spoon and see if I can get it to kind of smooth out. You can also do this with a fork or a whisk. Alright, so here is my consistency, and I used far more than 6 tablespoons of water to get it here, so you're going to have to just play with it. I also have my non-stick cast iron skillet on the stove heating with 2 tablespoons of oil, enough to cover the bottom. And once that gets hot, I will start dipping the tilapia into the batter and then into the skillet for about 3 to 4 minutes per side until the fish is cooked through. Here's the first batch of fish already in the batter. When you get ready to drop that into the skillet, you want to make sure that you shake off any excess into the bowl. And then we'll finish up the last little bit. As you can tell, some of the spice from the chicken has taken to seasoning the batter, which will be good. That means the fish will have absorbed it, so you'll have some of it actually in the flesh of the meat, and then you'll also get a little bit of that same seasoning in your crust on the outside of the fish for the batter. All right, the skillet is hot, and we're going to just start adding in the fish bites and let those cook up, and it'll be almost time to plate. In the meantime, you can dampen some paper towels and get your tortillas ready to go into the microwave for just a couple of seconds to get softened and warmed. The batter on that fish is cooking up very, very quickly, and it's getting a nice golden brown. This is an excellent quick recipe for a batter if you need one. It's going to be airy and crisp because of the the baking powder in there. So this is a quick, I'm talking about like dinner on the table in 30 minutes. In the microwave for 30 seconds, I have the tortillas spread on 2 damp paper towels, one underneath. I'm going to cover the top and then let those steam in the microwave for 30 seconds. Now it is time to plate your tacos. I've got some cilantro, lime, the tortillas, the topping, the fish. This is what I normally use when I make fish tacos at home. It's the Private Selection Chipotle Lime Tortilla Panko Breader. Pick it up from Kroger, and I usually use this and we'll make like some red cabbage slaw, or I've even used broccoli, the pre-cut stuff that you can pick up in the deli or in the produce section at the grocery store. I also have lime mayo for topping. Some people prefer hot sauce, so I have Frank's Red Hot. And I have Panera Asian sesame vinaigrette dressing. That's really good. It has a really nice, fresh, crisp seasoning. And then they provided sour cream, but I'm not a sour cream eater, so that will go aside. And I will use some of my regular toppings here to finish off my tacos. I'll probably add just a little bit of shredded cheese as well because I like that. And I'm going to see if I can dig out some pico de gallo out of the refrigerator because I like that topping as well. Dinner is served. Enjoy.